Hello everyone. Our today's topic is related to masonry work. So first of all, today we will learn something about bricks. Okay. So first of all, we will learn about what is brick. Okay. Next, we will learn about manufacturing process of brick. After then, we will learn different types of bricks, and then we will discuss various classification of bricks. Okay. So let's start with the first thing, that is what is brick. Okay, so what brick means, it is one of the oldest and most popular building material. And what is the reason behind the popularity of the bricks and widely use of this brick? That is, first of all, the brick is cheaper material. Second, it is durable. Third, it is easy to handle and work with. Okay, its availability is very easy. It is light in weight. Now, what is brick? Okay, so bricks are the blocks of tempered clay molded to suitable shapes and sizes while it is still in plastic condition, and dried in sun and burnt if desired, so as to make them strong, hard and durable. Now next is how the brick is manufactured. Okay, so the brick is manufactured in four processes. The first is the preparation of clay. After then we will mold into the molding box. After then there is a drying process, and after then there is burning of the brick takes place. Next topic is different types of bricks. So in different types of bricks, there are mainly two types of bricks are there. First is the traditional brick, and second is the modular bricks. Okay, so let's discuss about this traditional bricks. So these bricks have not been standardized in size, and size are changed according to the location. The length of these bricks is between 20 to 25 centimeter, width is 10 to 13 centimeter, and height is between 5 to 10 centimeter. And the commonly adopted size of this conventional brick is 23 cross 11.4 cross 7.6 centimeter. Okay, and then second is the modular brick. So according to Bureau of Indian Standard Institutes, BIS, has suggested a uniform brick size, that is 19 cross 9 cross 9 centimeter actual brick size. Okay, 20 cross 10 cross 10 brick size with mortar layer, and 6 cross 4 cross 2 centimeter is the frock size. Now we will discuss various classification of the brick. So bricks are mainly classified into many ways, but according to its class, brick is first classified into four ways. First is the first class bricks, which is also known as grade A bricks. Okay, so in this first class of bricks, it is table molded, it is well burnt in the kilns, it is regular in shape and size, and its size is 19 cross 9 cross 9 centimeter. It is good uniform bright brick red color, free from cracks, sharp and straight edges, uniform texture, no impression by a fingernail. The fracture surface of the brick should not show lumps of lime, and metallic or ringing sound should come when two bricks are stuck together with each other, and water absorption should be between 12 to 15% of its dry weight when immersed in water for 24 hours, and the crushing strength of the brick should not be less than 10 Newton per mm square. Okay, and there are various uses of this first class brick, which is also called grade A brick. Okay, so pointing, exposed face work in masonry structure, flooring and reinforced brick work. The next class is the second class brick, which is also called grade B bricks. Okay, so it is ground molded bricks, it is burnt in kilns, it is slightly irregular in shape and size, it has irregular color, it has slightly hair cracks, not so sharp and straight edges as compared to first class bricks. Metallic or ringing sound should come when two bricks are struck against each other. Water absorption is about 16 to 20% of its dry weight when immersed in water for about 24 hours, and the crushing strength of this brick should not be less than 7 Newton per mm square. Okay, and uses all important and unimportant hidden masonry works where brick is provided with coat or plaster. The third type is the third class brick, which is also called as grade C bricks, which you can see in the image. Okay, so it is ground molded, it is burnt in the clamps, it is underburnt bricks, reddish yellow color, irregular size, shape and finish, dull sound when two bricks stuck together, distorted edge. Water absorption is about 25% of the dry weight, and it is used for building unimportant and temporary structures. The fourth type is the fourth class bricks, which is also called grade D bricks, which you can see in this image. Okay, so in this, these are the overburnt bricks. These are badly distorted in size and shape. It is dark red color, black spots on the surface of the earth, brittle in nature. It is used, the ballast of such brick is used as a metal or aggregates for concrete in foundation, floor, roads, etc. Okay, so these all are the different types of bricks. Now, which bonds are used in brick masonry structure? So there are various types of bricks bonds used in brick masonry structure, like stretcher bond, header bond, English bond, Flemish bond, garden wall bond, facing bond, racking bond, Dutch bond, English cross bond, zigzag bond, brick on edge bond. So we will discuss these all bonds one by one. So let's start with the first one, stretcher bond. So in this bond, all bricks are laid as a stretchers. The length of the bricks are along the direction of the wall, and these are used for half brick walls only. For example, cavity walls, partition walls, etc. Okay, headers are not used in this type of wall, and reinforcement bar can be used for providing strength to this type of walls. Next is the header bond. So in this bond, all bricks are laid headers on the faces. 3 by 4 bat used at queuings so that overlap is equal to 1/2 of the width of the brick. Okay, these are used for walls curved in plan and also used for footing in foundation, better distribution of the load. Next is the English bond. So English bond is the most stronger for walls thicker than 1/2 brick. Okay, it consists of alternate courses of header and stretchers. These English bonds are not so much attractive, and it is not more economical as full bricks are used but require less mortar. Construction is very easy, and each course presents the different appearance both in front and back face. This bond is of single type. So next is the Flemish bond. So Flemish bond are of two types. First is the single Flemish bond and the second is the double Flemish bond. Okay, so in single Flemish bond, it is a combination of English bond and Flemish bond. At facing there is a Flemish bond, and at the back side there is a English bond, and it can be used for walls having thickness equal to or greater than of 1/2 brick. The next is the double Flemish bond. Okay, so in each course appearance is same, facing and backing. At facing and backing there is a Flemish bond in case of double Flemish bond. It is more economical and better in appearance than the English bond. For thickness of the wall is equal to even multiple of half brick, no bats are required in this type of wall. Now we have already learned English bond and Flemish bond. Then the question is, what is the main difference between English bond and Flemish bond? So English bond is more stronger for walls thicker than 1.5 brick, and Flemish bond is comparatively weak as brick beds are there. Okay. English bond consists of alternate courses of headers and stretchers, but in Flemish bond each course consists of alternate header and stretchers. In this wall, the hardening protection consists of headers only, and in Flemish bond the thick wall hardening portion consists of brick bats. The English bonds are not that much attractive, but Flemish bonds are more attractive. English bond is not more economical as full bricks are used but require less mortar, but in Flemish bond it is more economical as brick beds are used but require more mortar. The construction is very easy in case of English bond, and construction of this bond require good workmanship and careful supervision in case of Flemish bond. Each course presents the different appearance both in front and back face. Each course presents the same appearance both in front and back case in case of Flemish bond. This bond is of single type, and this Flemish bond is of two types, single Flemish and double Flemish. So this is all about the difference between English bond and Flemish bond. Next wall is the garden wall bond. So the arrangement of the bricks in garden wall is similar to that of English bond, except the heading course are only inserted at every fourth and sixth course, where stretcher are used in consequent courses every third, fifth or seventh. In short, the arrangement consists of one course of headers and three course of stretchers. The queen closer is placed next to the queen header of the heading course for give the necessary length. Next is the facing bond. So facing bond is used where the bricks of specific thickness are to be used in the facing and backing of the wall. In this type of bond, a header course is provided after several stretchers courses. As the thickness of the brick is different in the facing and backing, the vertical distance between the successive header course is kept equal to the least common multiple of the thickness of backing and facing brick. That is, if nominal thickness of the facing brick is 9 cm and that of backing bricks is 10 cm, the header course is provided at vertical interval of 19 cm. This type of bond is not structurally efficient and load distribution is not uniform. So next is the racking bond. In this type of bond, the bonding bricks are laid at an angle except 0 or 90 degrees. This type of arrangement helps to increase the longitudinal stability of the thick walls built in English bonds. In this pattern of the bonding, the space between two external stretches of the wall is filled using bricks inclined to the face of the wall. Okay, there are two common patterns of the racking bond. First is the herringhorn bond and second is the diagonal bond. Okay. So you can see first is the diagonal bond and second is the herringhorn bond. So in diagonal bond, it is the best suited for walls of 2 to 4 brick thickness. A diagonal bond is nominally introduced every fifth or seventh course along with the height of the wall. The bricks in this type of bond are placed at the end in such a way that extreme corner of the sequence remains in contact with the stretchers. In herringhorn bond, this type of bond is suited for very thick wall, usually not less than 4 bricks thick. In this pattern, bricks are laid in courses inclined at 45 degree in two directions from the center, and this type of bond is commonly used for brick paving. Next is the Dutch bond. So a modified form of English cross bond which consists of alternative course of headers and stretchers, that is called the Dutch bond. In this arrangement of the brick bond, every single stretching course begins at queen with a 3/4 band. Every alternate stretching course has a header set next to the third quarter bat brick provided at the queues. This bond is perfect to construct strong corners along the wall which are subjected to excess amount of load. Next is the English cross bond. So this is similar to English bond and consists of alternate courses of header and stretchers. However, in this bond, queen closure are introduced next to the queen headers and each alternate stretching course has header placed next to the queen stretchers. This bond is sufficiently strong and bears a good elevation. Next is the zigzag bond. So this is similar to herringbone bond with the only difference that in this case the bricks are laid in a zigzag fashion. This is commonly adopted in a brick paved flooring. And the last one is the brick on edge bond. This type of bond uses stretchers bricks on the edge instead of bed. This bond is weak in strength but it is economical. Hence it is used for the garden wall, compound wall, etc. Bricks are kept standing vertically on end. The bricks are arranged as header and stretchers in such a manner that headers are placed on bed and stretchers are placed on edge, thus forming a continuous cavity. Due to this, the bond consumes less number of bricks. So these all are the different types of brick bonds. Now our next topic is tools used for various masonry work. So you can see there are number of tools which are used during the masonry work: trowel, setting out square or mason square, plumb rule or plumb bob, spirit level, lines and pins, water level, mortar pan, spads, bevel, pickaxe, chisel, mallet, brick hammer, straight edge. So we will discuss each and every components one by one. So let's start with the trowel. The basic masonry trowel is made up of stainless steel with plastic or wooden handle. The ends of this trowel may be bull, noise or pointed, and this is used to lift and spread mortar in joints during masonry construction. The next is the setting out square or mason square. Okay, so from the image you can see it is used to set out right angles at corner of the masonry wall. This is very important and basic tool used in masonry work, and this tool is in L shape and it is made of the flat steel having each arm about 0.5 mm, 0.5 meter long. Next is the plumb rule or plumb bob. So this is the basic masonry tool used to check the verticality of the walls. It consists of string tied to weight at the bottom which is called bob, and straight wood bordered with the uniform edge called plumb rule. On its center, a groove is provided in which plumb bob is placed. When the rule placed vertically with the wall, the plumb bob must be in the groove line indicating the perfect vertical wall. If the plumb bob ball does not fall on the groove line, the wall will not be vertical. Next is the spirit level. So from the image we have already seen this. Okay, so it is used to check horizontality and verticality of the surfaces. Spirit level is made of the hard plastic or wood with bubble tube inside the middle portion. The bubble tube is partially filled with the alcohol in such a way that an air bubble is formed in it. The spirit level is placed on a surface of the masonry walls and bubble is checked. The surface is called level when the bubble in the tube settles at the middle of the tube. Next is the line and pins. So this line and pins is used to maintain the alignment of the work in progress. Line and pin consist of string whose ends are connected with two solid rod with pin points. It is used to level the line and the alignment of the brick course while the brick laying in brick masonry work. Next is the water level indicator. So it is used to transfer and check the level. It is a simple tool to measure the level at two different points. It is a tool that works on the principle that water always seeks its own level. It consists of flexible tube with liquid, and the liquid at both ends will be at the same level whether you are holding them together or spreading them 100 feet apart. Next is the spades or powders. So they are used to mix mortar and also used to place cement, mortar, concrete in head pan. Spade is also used to dig the soil for foundation trenches, etc. It consists of metal plate at the end of long wooden handle. Next is the mortar pan or gamela. So mortar pan is commonly used in construction sites and it is made of iron or plastic. It is a vessel which is made of rigid plastic or steel which is used to hold or carry sand, cement, mortar and concrete. It is also used to mix mortar and to lift the mortar on working site. To use a mortar pan, fill it with quantity of the material like sand, cement, mortar, etc. that you are comfortable with carrying. Next is the bevel. So bevel is employed to set out the angles. It comprises of two slotted blades of steel and fixed with each other with the thumb screw. It is a tool consisting of two rules or arms joined together and opening to any angles. Next is the pickaxe. So it is employed for rough dressing of stones and to split the stones in the quarry. It has a long head pointed at both ends. Next is the chisel. So they are used with the mallet and with hammer. A chisel is used for normal splitting, roughing out and shaping the stones. The chisel are available in different sizes with bladed, flat, tapered and other shape chipping points. Blade of chisel is made from the iron or metal and handle is made from the wood. The next is the mallet or wooden hammer. So it is a basic tool used for shaping of stone. It is wooden hammer used for driving wooden headed chisel. It is usually had a larger head. Brick hammer. So it is used for rough cutting of brick in different shape and sizes. One end of the hammer is square and another end is sharp edge. It has one flat traditional face and a short or a long chisel shaped blade. It is also used to push the bricks if they are come out from the course line. The next is the straight edge. So straight edge act as an extensor to mason's level. They are used when the levels are shorter than the area that needs to be measured or assessed. The middle section of the top of the straight edge should horizontally parallel to the bottom section and it is used for checking out the straightness of the brickwork. Thank you for watching this video.